Sometimes we forget how much community means, especially in a space where people want to assume that there is divisiveness and no support. In this last installment of One Page, One Love authors ahead of our charity anthology release, we get into not only how much we enjoy our stories that are included in this anthology, but also the meaning and importance of community. And that can mean a lot to different people. But in this context, at least from what I discerned from our conversation, it's all about having the support system to get through a process that's usually lonely. Because writing is something that you do by yourself. Even when you're in a space literally with other writers, you're all writing your own stories. And having the support, having people who know what they're doing in different aspects of what indie authoring in particular goes through is so important. From marketing to doing your taxes to finding cover designers or doing PR boxes or whatever else is necessary, we dive into a conversation about just the importance of one, loving what you do and having fun and kind of not sitting here and diving too far into the things that can cause harm, but also just the importance of having that space. Because if you don't, well, you can be out here on this internet looking like a fool. So, without further ado, let's get into our last episode featuring just the One Page, One Love authors. I hope you enjoy. So let's get started with introductions. Go ahead and tell us how you got started as an author and kind of a little bit about you. Whoever would like to go first.
Well, I'm Aiyana. I mostly write romance. I'm dabbling in a little bit of fantasy, but I started writing when I was like 12. Because a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you tell all these stories with like your Barbie dolls and stuff. You should like write a book." And I'm like, I didn't know someone could do that. I didn't know that. So I just wrote this really bad fantasy story back when I was a kid. I still have the notebook and everything, but that's pretty much how I started. And then in high school, I wrote like fan fiction on Wattpad for a long time. Yeah, that's how I started out.
Listen, if you I think Wattpad or like Tumblr or AO3, what's them other ones? Like everybody, for the most part,
RIP
dabbled in it a little bit.
fanfiction.net.
Listen, everybody was there a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Welcome, welcome, Aiyana.
Hi, I'm Jaylee Fields /J. My pronouns are she and her. I was a fan fiction author. I sure did start on fanfiction.net, one of the OGs. Well, I started on Wattpad, and I've been writing since I was about 12, 13 years old. I went to study creative writing and fiction in college at Columbia College Chicago, with a concentration in fiction, and I have a minor in professional writing. And my first book debuted in 2023, and now two pen names, and 2 years later, I got 7 books out.
I'm here for it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna call you Jay.
Yeah, Jay's fine. I had an Italian teacher who said "che" every time she goes. There's no J in the Italian alphabet. There's no J,
So you got Che.
so it's "che."
That's interesting. I was doing Japanese for a bit and they would say Lobe because my last name is Love and there's
Oh,
no
there's
real
no yeah.
pronunciation of B. So I get it. I get it. You're like,
Yeah.
that's
I
interesting.
just accepted it. That was all 4 years. Every Italian teacher did it. We had 3 of them.
You're like, Che, okay, that
It's
is who
like,
I am.
yeah, that is me. Hi, your
That
bestie.
is
It's
who I
me.
am. So I'm curious, let's start with Jay. What drew you to One Page, One Love? Like, why did you want to participate in this anthology?
Because Sula was doing it. Point blank. I love Sula. I will support anything Sula does. If Sula Sullivan's name is attached, I'm doing it. I don't care. And like we hear so many horror stories of like charity anthologies going wrong. I trust Sula. I know they gonna be
Yeah.
on their P's and Q's. There's going to be no nonsense, and their professionalism top tier. And I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. It's Sula Sullivan, absolutely.
Mhm.
It was the zero hesitation because it's Sula. I'm here for it though.
It's Sula. Like, what do you want? Sula asked for volunteers. I volunteer as tribute. Let's ride. And it's for a
We're
great
right at the
cause
top.
too. Why not?
Exactly. No, I feel it. It was the yes. He was like, "What you mean? What you mean?"
Say less. Very much so. Say less. I didn't need to be
Absolutely.
asked
Absolutely.
twice. I saw the post
There
on
was
Threads. Immediately signed up for it.
no same.
Yeah.
Absolutely same. Absolutely. I was like, I keep seeing Sula floating around. I ain't heard nothing bad about Sula, and this sounds like it's up my alley. So here we are. Because I was like sneak following people.
Sneak following.
Because I don't follow you, but if I interact with your stuff enough, you keep popping up, and I can just kind of pay attention. Because then I gotta feel people out before we get there. Because you never know. Not
People
saying
be
nothing about Sula,
weird.
but people.
Yeah.
You'd be like, "Oh, I thought you was cool," and then here we are.
You're weird.
Yeah, so I get it.
Especially
I'm
in the
just
past
getting
year, past 2 years. And I've seen some of y'all's behavior. I'm like, y'all are weird. Y'all
like,
ain't
why are
got no,
we
y'all
out
don't stand on no business. I can't be around y'all if y'all don't stand on no business. Absolutely not.
like what is happening? What is your purpose? You don't have one. Okay, okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna go
Picking
over
up
there.
oxygen, moving on.
Just saying. Aiyana, what drew you to One Page with Love?
So I did see it because of Sula, but I don't know. I kind of I kind of saw like I've never done an anthology before, and I thought they were cool. Like I just heard about them all the time, so it was a little bit of that too. And I've never written a short story either, so I was like, I can challenge myself this year. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
Always challenge. Always challenge. Listen, Jay, you have pointed out like horror stories in general.
Horror?
Like when it comes to participating in anthologies or like connecting
Oh
with
yeah.
people.
So there've been and I'm not gonna name drop folks simply because I'm
No,
not.
you ain't gotta do that. I mean, you
But
could, but you
there've
ain't
been a
got
lot
to.
of horror stories of like charity anthologies where they just take the money and ski. People don't get their rights back. The contracts be sus. And one of my good author friends, Kahula, I never pronounce their name right. They're a fantastic Kanaka Mole author. I'm so sorry, butchered that. I'm so sorry. So sorry. And she's always told me like, be so careful if you ever
Yeah.
do an anthology. And I told her I was doing this anthology. She's like, be careful, do your research, make sure that the people involved are decent people. So I've always considered them like a mom, like an author mom a little bit. They're always giving me great advice. Um,
I
so
know.
yeah, you hear a lot of horror stories, but I have
Yeah.
no complaints, man. Sula, and CT, they've been on their big business, and it's been nothing but positivity and
Listen,
greatness.
listen, the communication,
Cloud has
the
always
just
been dope to me, to be honest. Like ever since my first book came out, Cloud has always been so dope with me. So it was just a great opportunity.
it's been fantastic. It's it's been great. Okay, so like let's dive in a little bit to our stories because I read y'all's. Um we got art. We got arcs, therefore, after I went and made sure my stories were good, I was like, okay, bet. Let me go look at what everybody else doing. I'm here for it. So I know what y'all wrote, but everybody else don't know what y'all wrote. So can y'all give a tease of your story? Aiyana, let's start with you.
okay. So mine is called "Does He Feel the Same?" It pretty much just follows a character named Love, and she's like in the music room with her like childhood friend, and it's like right when she realizes her feelings for him and stuff like that. So it's a cute little suspensey scene, I guess you would call it, of just her realizing her feelings.
And we love a good scene where you're just
We
like,
love
oh
that.
crap, oh crap, oh crap, I like this person. Hell, son of a bitch, how did we get here? It's okay. Do they like me too?
Yeah.
Do I say something? Yeah, we love that. We love
We
that.
love that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting till I get the
Jay,
physical to read everyone's story because I
oh, I
want the
couldn't
I want the
help
physical.
it. Oh, I
Me too.
absolutely plan on getting,
I need to put it
I
on my shelf, and I need to give a copy to my grandma. It's my first anthology.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna just forget about my first anthology. I said it. Um, because reasons. But yeah, no, absolutely get it and give it to grandma. Do that. Jaylee, what is your story?
My story focuses on Reese and Thomas from the prequel book to their story, My Lieutenant, which is a black mafia. The mafia Don gets with his right hand man. And this is a couple years after the events of the first book, My Lieutenant. And I don't want to go into too many details because it is kind of spoilers, but they are secretly married. Ben see they have a cute tattoo wedding ceremony when they're like 19 and 20 years old. It's super cute. I love them down bad. And Reese is going to continue one of the family traditions of the Tyson mafia family. And he essentially is giving Thomas their own paradise, which is the title of the story. I love it when we can bring the title of the book into the
Exactly.
book.
Because like
It's
it's
such a
fun.
good brain itch. It's a good brain
Be like,
strap.
there it goes, there it go, there it go, right there.
It's like, we're connecting the pieces.
And not in the weird cliche way that some people do it. I could name authors, but I ain't gonna do that. But like not in that way. Cause sometimes you'll be like, oh, okay, I see. That's what you meant. Okay. Anyway. Um, but yours is cute.
Thomas, they're such a fun, cute couple. And a low key, they're kind of it's kind the book series itself is based a little bit off Jade City by Fonda Lee, which is an
Yeah.
incredible
Okay.
fantasy book.
Actually,
10 out of 10. Go read it right now. I
I
highly
need to.
recommend it. I'm
I need
scared getting
to.
through book 2. I'm scared. That's why it's on pause. And it's been on pause since December because I'm scared.
Listen, listen. I
Hero is,
started
is
Jade
acting
City.
out of pocket. And I can't, I condone it, but I condone it in lowercase letters. I cannot
I
condone this in
started Jade.
capital
You know
letters.
how you start a book and you're like, "Ooh, I got to be in the right mental space." Hold on, wait a second. I started Jade City and I'm ready to eat it up, but like,
It's
I
so
know when
good.
I'm done, I'm gonna feel every type of way.
There's
So
3 books in the trilogy, so it's not like you have to wait to get the other 2.
I know, I know. That's why I also wait. I'll buy something and be like, I'm gonna read it later, so I can just read
I need
all
the
of
whole
it.
book. Literally, Me with Orlander's Sword by Tasa Shori from the Burning Kingdoms trilogy. I have the Lotus book sitting. It is the sticky notes are ready to go. The bookmark is ready to go. I'm scared because I'm not ready to be destroyed, and I'm not going to be the same person once I finish that book. I'm going to be emotionally changed, physically, spiritually, mentally changed as a human being, and I'm not ready for that.
There's only a handful of books that can do that to a person too. Like, and then you find them, you're like, "Ooh, am I ready for
It
this?"
changed my brain chemistry. Change
I
Windsor
feel that
by
way.
Ebony Farushu changed my brain chemistry. And she's a black author. Go read her. Love
I'm
her
gonna
down
have to
bad.
go read that.
Issa Rae,
It's
get in the studio.
it's certain.
Issa
Look, it's
Rae, get
certain
in the
books.
studio. Moving on.
It's certain books, it's certain movies, certain TV shows that you be like, "Oh, I ain't gonna never be the same."
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel that. I completely 100% feel that. Y'all already kind of pointed this out as you was teasing your stories. So I don't know if this question is relevant, but what would you say your central tropes are in your stories? Obviously, it's that point for Aiyana is like when they're just like it's kind of like an unrequited feeling because you don't know if the other person likes it. Is that
Hmm.
kind of
Well,
the
they
vibe?
won't.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. It's kind of that vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that's what I was getting because you're just like, I
Hmm.
really, I don't. Do they? It's okay. Should I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the struggle. That's real
I
struggle love, not that anti-black stuff y'all be
right.
talking about. Struggle love is not no.
Yeah.
That's not the same. That's not the same. Oh, that's a whole nother debate we could get into. We ain't got to do all
That's a
that.
whole other kinky conversation.
Listen, we ain't even got to go down that road. Jay, would you say yours is kind of like the story after? Because you know how we get like to the end. I don't know what the trope would be called, but like obviously
Me
there's a
too.
trope in there, but
I would
like
say
because you know
secret
when
husbands is the trope because again, no one knows that they're married besides Thomas's sister.
yeah.
But like nobody, it's on lock and key. Like I would say secret husbands. Um, yeah, that's really it. I'm really bad at picking up tropes.
Because sometimes you're just like, I
Bad
don't
at
know,
it.
I wrote the story. It is what it is. I'm just
I'm
like,
so bad at marketing. I love the little trope trees we do around
story
Christmas
after story.
time, but I never know what's on them. It's horrible. And the way I'm going to recycle the ones I used last year for this Christmas coming up, sure will. I don't care. No shame in my game.
Listen, you got to do what you got to do,
Yeah, do
right?
what you gotta do, man.
um, so I'm just curious because I know for me and Aiyana, you kind of mentioned it. You said you wanted to challenge yourself, which is a part of the reason you wanted to join an anthology beyond it being Sula. But like, have either of you published flash fiction before, or like focused on writing bite-sized stories?
I haven't. It's mostly just like novels. I only have like three out right now, but yeah.
Don't use only. Don't qualify that. Three is three.
Yeah, but the goal is five, so
We getting there, but three is where you are at currently. Don't qualify it with an only.
good point.
For me, I originally wrote no, but now that I think about it, I have a anthology collection of like
Hmm.
short stories between between Ernest and Wendell from my Hunted universe in the Seasons of Smut series. And it's a little volume of short stories of like them going on their first date, the first time they said I love you. This gala they go to when Wendell decides, you know what, I am the bad guy here. You got me fucked up. You're trying to mess with my man with my nigga? No. I don't know what y'all. This is not safe. And then there's
Oh,
also a fun, cute little short story in there that's based off the piece of art I got made by Emmanuel Aose, another talented Nigerian Black indie author. Please give that man his credit.
run it
And
up.
that story made into the anthology. So like, yeah, originally I wrote no, but now that I think about it, yeah, I've done like a collection of short stories.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. Like, I was
You
like,
can do what
as
you
you were
want. You're an
saying that,
indie
I'm like,
author. Do what you want. Who's gonna stop you?
no, you're right. But I had did like a Christmas anthology ish sort of thing. It was like four little short stories in there, but it was one character, and they were like dreams. So it was like a Christmas wish thing or whatever, and she was like, she asked, oh, say Nick for something, and her like she got shown four things in like through dreams, so it was like different shorts because she was a different person in each one. And I didn't even think about technically that's four short stories connected by an on like
Yeah.
kind of like what is it white smoke or like those kind of like where it's a thread that's through, but then there's all the little short stories happening. I don't know. I didn't even think about that.
You can't. I haven't.
You right,
I do want to
that's
do a second one. It's called the anthology collection. I call it a collection. Not really like an anthology. It's
yeah.
sneaking and freaking with the club treasurer. Because like the funny thing is with Ernest and Wendell, Ernest used to be the motorcycle president of Steel Empire MC, and Wendell is the treasurer. And now that Ernest has been stepped down, his sons have become the president and the vice president, treasurer. We're hooking up with the boss and the friend's dad. Because why not?
Because why
I
not?
love niche pairings. I love niche tropes. That's my brand.
Mhm.
Because why not?
Let's jazz it up. Let's get fun.
Exactly. Do you feel, Jay, like this brought you out of your comfort zone? I mean, you're writing a continuation story, but it's shorter and it's a little bit different. So
Yeah.
do you feel that it brought you out of your comfort zone? Because it's the same subgenre that you're in
Yeah.
anyway.
I don't think it really brought me out of my comfort zone, but I think it kind of pushed me as an author to tighten up. Tighten up. Uh, Samuel L. Jackson tease. Um, in
You made me
um,
snort. Dang.
it made me tighten up on making sure that I didn't waste any words. It
Yeah.
made me like tighten up on like making sure every word that I put in there had a purpose. And I didn't have to do a lot of whittling down, but I was doing my 1-2 passes by hand. I was able to take out some of those filler words and just let it be. And I don't have to put a filler word in here.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely
Yeah.
sharpened the tools I already had in my tool belt for sure.
I feel that. Okay. And your story is the longest of the three options we had,
It really?
wasn't it? I think
No.
so. Was it a middle one?
I think because I don't it wasn't the first option we had
No, that
because
was 100
I didn't
words. I
have
tried that. Ooh,
it's
that was
the
hard.
second one. I mean, I could have, but with the story
It
that
was
I
a little bit
wanted to
longer
do
though.
with Reese and Thomas, getting the doing the tradition, it didn't really feel like it's not the end of their story. It's just like a snippet that continues on with book one, which is it's not coming out in June, and I'm very sad about it. I'm not trying to beat myself up about it. It's probably going to come out in June,
No.
in July. But it's just sort of like this is what happens in between my
Yeah.
lieutenant and the Dawn and his lieutenant, which is the title of the first book. So yeah, it was like in the middle.
That's
But like
fair.
I don't think I can figure out how many words it is. It's
I was like,
not. I
what is, not
know it's
like
under a
not like
thousand.
it felt long, huh?
I know it's underneath 1,000 words.
Okay, because I was like, it didn't feel long, but I was like, I could have sworn it was longer than that second tier option. Anyway, it don't matter. The story was good. Um, Aiyana, do you feel like your story brought you out of your comfort zone?
I would say yeah, because I'm so used to like writing in longer forms. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I can't put too much exposition there or too much like descriptions. I gotta make it make sense without describing too much. Because usually I'm
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
to describe more, so it's kind of like doing the opposite of what I'm
Mm-hmm.
told to do.
More emotion, more setting. Give us
Yeah,
more. No.
Show don't tell.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
worst ever. Worst
I
advice
hate that
ever.
comment. Hate that comment.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, worst advice ever. Show
I
don't
don't
tell.
like it. It's hard. It's
You
hard for me to
know
understand that advice. Like,
you're
what do
like,
you
what you
mean?
mean? I am showing it. I thought I was. What you mean? No, mine is always more emotion. They are emotional creatures. Why do we need more emotion?
emotion. Exactly. Like there's only so much emotion before
Do
we
you
can
want me to
start
make
crying
you
on the
cry?
floor.
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. No, yeah, like definitely it was a challenge to kind of pull out, like get to the very nitty-gritty of what the story is.
Remind them what
With
yours is about.
Oh, okay. So I did two. I did one in that first tier. So I wrote 100 words, and it's just a little short vignette of like two friends coming back together after one being away for a while, and like the one that was away realizes that they have to express that they have feelings. So it's just like, oh, that's how you was feeling. I'm here for it because I was too. And the other one is like um, um, a meeting between a vampire huntress and a vampire that she's like she has a reason, and it's obviously because the story is so short you don't fully get into it, but she's very adamant about eliminating vampires who are very much a problem. So she has a preconceived notion that Erica is a problem that needs to be eliminated. She's done her research, she's done all that she needs to do, and is ready to confront this vampire. And when she meets Erica, Erica's like, "So you should just be mine." And she's like, "Excuse me? Ma'am, you are a vampire. I'm not a blood bank. What are we doing here?" And she's like, "Yeah, I like you, and I want to keep you." So she's their little meeting, and the huntress is not named, so she's just like, "I don't even know how to feel." And you get a little bit of that moment of that meet cute and her trying to process what's happening. I stepped out my comfort zone because I always have sapphic side characters in my books. But my author besties have been saying that I need to stop because they're good characters with all this like emotion and everything happening with them, and I never give them their story. And I'm like, but I don't feel like it's my lane. I don't know if I can do it justice. And they're like, "Girl, have you read your books?" And I was like, "Too many times. I hate them." So I don't know. So I was like, all right, let me try on a very small like level just to see if I can get there. And I'm like, it's very similar to what I do with my side characters, except now they're the main character.
Right.
So you get
Can
a
we
little bit
take
more in
a
their heads what's happening.
2 second segue just to say, when it comes to the advice of like write what you know and like feel like you don't have the qualifications, I
Yeah.
think that's very true and very valid. But I think as long as you use the ultimate cheat code, read from own voice authors, you'll be fine.
You're right.
Some
You're right.
people, and the people who I see who don't do a good job, they don't read own voice authors, particularly BIPOC own voice authors, and that's where they mess up.
Yeah, it's very true.
Like, it's a
You're
cheat
right.
code. It's so easy.
You're right. I mean, I think my thing was like, not even that it's not my lane, because it's not, but it's more so like, there are so many authors out here, queer authors out here who write sapphic, especially Black queer authors out here that don't be getting they flowers. And I mean, I am also queer, but I am
Yeah,
like ace and a deal with men, unfortunately. Like,
not unfortunately.
listen. So it's a little different, I think. And I'm just
Yeah,
like, I want to give space to the folks who that is their identity, that is their life before I jump in there. So I wrote like what I write and represent in my books are my friends. Like, it's not their personalities or whatever, but it's like
right.
what I see in the world. Like, I see the lesbian couples, I see the gay couples, I see the male female couples, but both people are queer. Like, that is my friends, that is my life, that is my reality. And so I write that, but it's always like, well, can you give us this? I want that person's story. And I'm like, I don't know if I have a trans woman in one of my books. And I'm just like, that is not my story to tell. I
Right.
cannot give that to you. I feel like that definitely needs to remain with the trans community.
Of course. Um, I also think for me, because I had those similar thoughts. And like for me, I talked with Georgiana Kirsten, a fabulous Black indie author. Love Gigi down bad. They suggested to me to have a list of own voice authors, um, writing MMK romance books by own voice authors and own voice authors of color, because I recognize that in this game, people are going to read me as a cisgender woman writing gay romance before they read an own voice author, which is messed up. So if they're going to pick me first, I'm going to lift up as many people, as many own voice authors as I physically can, in that process. And it's free book recs. You can't say I can't find them. I can't find them. It's right there. It's a whole bullet point list. There's always 10 of them. Figure it out.
Yes, and like I do that
Figure
often
it
whenever
out.
somebody asks for book recs. I am like immediately like, "Oh, well, have you read Carmen Lee? Have you read Chintzia C. Higgins? Have you read Mika James? Like, have you I've mentioned you." Like, have you read these people? Like, yes, and it's more so because like in a general sense there is so few um Black authors who write anything that's not cishet, which is fine.
Right.
but also because there's so few, it's just like, where can you find somebody who you can trust to write the story, and then also get the own voices in there too?
Yeah.
Because there are people who do their research and respect everything, and then there are our own voices, and both have their place. But yeah, I don't know. I'm working on some things that are sapphic, so there's a hint and a
Very
tease.
excited. I have a Sapphic Tooth Fairy book coming out in 2026. Fingers crossed. Because to me, the Tooth Fairy should always have a girlfriend. I've always felt
Why
like this
not?
ever since Timmy Turner. I did.
Yeah.
When Dragon it was with the Tooth Fairy, I was like, boo, boo.
Not since Jimmy Turner though. I love.
So I wrote what I wanted. I wrote what I wanted to see in the world. And
I
it's
mean, why not?
black lesbian Tooth Fairy who's plus size. And
Why
right
not?
one time. Why not? That's
Because
why
they're
I'm an
like,
indie author. I get to do all this fun stuff. Trad publishing would never allow
exactly.
this.
They'd be like, what? That don't even make sense. Be like,
Trad publishing
well,
said, girl, anyways, let's get another coho book. Ooh. Am I lying? Am I lying?
I don't see the lie. Anybody else see the lie? Is the lie in the room with us?
Is the lie in the room? Is she here? Is she in attendance today? Nope, we're gonna mark her absent.
So, swerving back to the
Back to the point.
no, I'm here for it though, because like it is a bigger conversation about like representation and what you feel comfortable writing, and like how you step out of your comfort zone, and are you treating it right, and are you doing it justice, and are you challenging yourself without harming others? Like it is a bigger
It
conversation for
is.
sure. And we
It's a
can
never ending
spend
conversation.
exactly, like we can spend
I have
semesters
a podcast,
worth
an
of
hour
conversation.
podcast dedicated to this conversation. Because it's such a vast conversation.
Exactly. There's a whole lot to it, and it's a lot of nuance, and it's a lot of discussion that can consistently be had, especially because it's always something popping up, and you're like, here we go. This is what I was talking about.
And this
So
is why y'all weird.
I
Weird
mean, like,
behavior.
without doing any spoilers, and it's a little outside publishing, but like just think about the conversation around Sinners right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even giving any of the story away. You have so many different segments of like the people who understand what happened, the people who don't quite understand it are making weird assumptions, the
Right.
people who focus on certain actors, which everybody did phenomenal. And that's like, but you chose very specifically to talk about that actor and how they did everything so perfectly when everybody in the cast did well, but you wanted to point that person out.
Right. I haven't seen the movie, so no spoilers, please.
That's
Nope.
why I said no spoilers, because I know a lot of people haven't seen it, and it's so
Right.
many spoilers, and people forget about the fact that everybody can't immediately go see it. Even
Right.
if you want to support, you sometimes gotta wait. But
Right.
it's just like that's why I'm like that person and these people, and then it's this whole other conversation that's happening that goes into detail about the other aspects that is happening, and that's fine. But it's
Right.
just so weird when you think about it, because if you get a really good book, the same kind of thing happens
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like most people understand the assignment and understood what was happening, even if it's nuanced, because there's people who can grasp what's happening there, and then you can discuss it and go into detail about it. And then you get the people that are like, well,
Didn't
this
show up to
one
class.
thing.
Who didn't show up and are just writing any type of answer on the test. Weird.
You're just like, are we, did we didn't study the same thing, did we?
We clearly didn't.
Okay. I love that for
I love
you,
it.
I guess.
I'm not bringing up no particular book. All I'm saying is bringing up this one particular book, and the issue is a master slave dynamic, and we want to bring up Tracy Dion of all people to bring up in this conversation. We're going to bring up Legendborn to say, well, Tracy gets to do this. What's the problem with this book? So you just didn't show up to class at all. And you're just writing any silly willy kind of answer and saying anything on the internet. And that
Like,
tells
okay,
me you
so
also didn't read Legendborn right. That
Listen,
tells me a lot of things.
full
And here's the
disclosure.
thing. Here's the thing. Is the Legendborn series for me personally? No, but I'm not gonna sit here and let y'all talk about Tracy Dion any type of way. I'm not letting y'all do that. No. Oh, over a master slave book. Are y'all kidding me? Moving on.
We're not going to even get into the one where it was like, but it's reverse master slave. Go have several seats.
No.
Go have several seats. You gonna make me act a fool on this internet. Go sit down.
Just
I personally haven't read Legendborn. It is not because it's not for me. I just it starts with an accident and like that's a trigger for me. So I have not been able to get
Yeah.
into it because I'm just like
that's
I
fair.
can't get past it. And it makes me sad because I've had people tell me about the books and they're like, so they can see if I want to get into it. I'm like,
Yeah.
it sounds so good, but I can't get over it.
Yeah.
And it's not even, it don't start with an accident, but it's anyway,
Yeah.
it's that whole like description. I'm just like, I
Yeah.
can't,
You're
I'm gonna,
physically accident. Like it's triggering for you, and that's completely valid.
yeah,
It's completely fair. Personally, it was just not my cup of tea. I love supporting Tracy Dion. If I'm here for it.
absolutely. I still be like, still
Tracy
buy
did
it.
so wrong. Her publisher did her so wrong. Barnes and Noble did her so wrong with this oath-bound
Oh, you know
rollout.
what?
Did wrong. Wrong. Are you
That still
kidding
pisses me off.
me? What do you mean Onyx Storm is still on tables and that horrible book rollout with the reduce, reuse, recycle art is still on the table, but Tracy Dion's book is in boxes on carts. What are we saying? What Barnes and Noble? Why do we keep going there?
But that's the thing though, because it's always this thing about like, oh, it doesn't sell, oh, it's not doing well. And it's like, I'm sorry, did
You
we not
didn't
see the same
try.
numbers?
You didn't
Did we not
try,
see the same
bud.
numbers? We saw them numbers, right? Just like with Jaquel J. Indy can't do well either, huh? A black woman can't be on top, huh? Oh no, that's not possible. They can't do it. NYA and an adult in the same time frame? Oh, but we're not doing it.
I throw my hands to the Lord on that one. I throw my hands to the Lord. They ain't never gonna learn. Stop. Stop
Cannot.
going to Barnes and Noble. They ain't never done us right. I remember y'all
It's
not
just
having a Latinx table for Latinx Heritage Month. I remember that at Barnes and Noble. I remember what y'all did when it comes to Black young adult and kids books. I remember what y'all did. The North
it's
remembers.
always something. It's AAPI, it's like it's everybody. They
It's
always
consistently. Target ain't no
laugh
better.
in
We
people's
shouldn't be
face.
going there no
Like,
ways.
why are you playing in my face? Why are you playing in my face?
Anyway, support indie bookstores.
Exactly. Always, every day, all the days. Anywho,
Back to the topic.
right. So like I think we kind of hinted on it earlier a little bit just because we all kind of said like Sula is doing this and we're here for it. What was the most exciting part of participating in this anthology though? Beyond Sula and CT. And like, I don't know, the fact that we're supporting the ACLU, which we very much need to do
Very
right now.
much so need to support. Um, for me, the most exciting part has been definitely working with all of these talented authors, having great discussions like the one we're having right now. Um, just being able to collaborate with so many indie authors when, especially when we deal with these allegations of indie publishing is such a competition, in which I don't believe at all. Being able to do something like this for a great cause, it has been the most exciting part of it.
Yeah.
And
And it's
also,
not a competition. It's so much out there. It's so many people doing so many different things. And even if you're writing the same type of story, you're not getting the same story.
you're not.
Yeah.
But you said it's also what?
There's also, and this is like touching a little bit late to a question after it.
Mm,
Um, but I want when it comes to like what is something that brings light beyond just the light fun and love of it all. Um, the fact that this anthology is reminding authors like, yes, you can do something. There's a lot of crazy, scary, sad, dangerous, dreadful shit happening in the world. But this anthology reminds us like, yes, there is something you can do. You are not completely hopeless and powerless to do anything. It feels overwhelmingly difficult to do
yeah.
anything about the time we're living in right now, but just being able to submit a fun, cute story, which you probably would have ended up writing anyways, to support a cause such as this. I mean, it's one of the easiest things you can do. it's a lot of work. I'm not saying it's not a lot of work because like you got to do marketing, you got to like edit, you got to do all those things. It is a lot of work, but being able to participate in something like this, it's the easiest yes you can give.
Yeah. So Aiyana,
Mhm.
what is the most exciting part about you participating in anthology? Because Jay hit a bunch of really good points, but
Yeah.
I need to hear your side of this.
So I'll kind of piggyback off of Jay's point because this is the reason why I wanted to sign up is like to put myself out there and like talk to other authors because I kind of
Hmm.
do just do everything by myself. I don't really talk to people that much. I guess I'm kind of an introvert, but so it kind of helped me put myself out there and like talk to other people more. So I like that about being on the anthology.
Yeah. I mean, like, let's be honest. I think a lot of authors, a lot of people in certain types of positions, but I think a lot of authors, and I might be wrong, so don't quote me, are introverted to at least to an extent. And it's hard to like kind of put yourself out there and start talking to people because I don't know, look at the society we live in.
Yeah.
Folks, y'all bottom lines.
And it's a lot of, I think there's a lot of like extroverted introverts as well, where it's like you could do so much and then your social battery run down and you're just like, ooh, people.
All right, time to go back inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like this does give the opportunity to be in community, and like with this instance, you guys, people come on and I get to talk to folks, and it's just, however long we're on here, 30, 45, an hour, whatever. And we get to talk because we're sharing community and we're sharing a purpose and we know why we're here. So it's easier versus like on these social media streets where you're just like, you're weird. so, so and the easy part of getting off social media is like you can just close the app and you ain't got to deal with it no more. But like face to face interaction, so going to events and stuff like that, and it's just like, oh, you're still here. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, it is really exciting to participate in something like this and be able to see what people are talking about and have like these private discussions and support causes and kind of grow and see what other people and how their process works and like understand that writing is lonely, but also everybody is going through that lonely process together.
See,
Yeah.
So I love that. And Jay kind of jumped ahead a little bit, which is fine.
yeah. Good.
I'm gonna pass one question and come back to it so I can ask you about it, Aiyana. What do you hope that this anthology brings to light beyond like the little bit of love and fun stories that we're all writing?
Um, I guess I would say just like that there is like ways to like escape if you're really like for me when I write it kind of helps me like not get too doom and gloomy because I kind of deal with depression really bad. So like I would hope when people read them that like they know that it could get better. Like there's things
Yeah.
you can do that will make you happy even if it is like hard out here and things like that. So kind of just hoping for the best in a way.
No, I feel that, and right now is real easy. Like if you already deal and process depression or any type of mental health concerns, like it's really, really easy right now to fall into that.
Yeah.
And having community right now is super important because
We're not gonna make it without community, man. Us be gangster.
listen, like
We not gonna
in
make it without
therapy, like if you
community.
can afford therapy, unfortunately we live in a country where everything costs a million and a half things. But like if you can afford any type of therapy, like it's so beneficial because we are going through it
We're going through
left,
Mhm.
it.
right, and like
We've been going through it.
Yeah.
We've never been mentally right since 2020. To be honest,
listen,
that's where it started.
Yeah.
honestly,
We were
we
isolated.
never
I'm
had
gonna be honest. I thought we were
anything.
all gonna die.
Same.
Like I've
This
never
was
been through a pandemic like that before. Yeah, I was like,
none
if
of
this,
us have.
yeah, we had Ebola. Yeah, but like that was like
But
that
did
okay.
you have
But
it
like
like in the same
us,
sense?
Yeah, I was younger with the Ebola thing, so
I
Yeah,
was
like
like
I
we didn't
understand.
have to experience that like this.
It was never like the way it was it still is with COVID.
Yeah.
Like we were all,
Like
I
I
really
don't
thought we were all gonna die. I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna be published. Like, it's
Yeah.
scary, and we're just seeing the death toll rise every
oh
single
god,
day.
every
And then
day,
we got more
hourly.
bleach and IVs to cure COVID, and we got people taking horse medication, and it was just weird. It felt like 2012 when we all thought the world was going to end. That's what it was
Yeah.
giving. It was giving the movie 2012. Like people were buying toilet paper,
You
but
couldn't
they weren't
find
buying no
nothing.
canned goods, which was so weird. People weren't buying masks, but they had hella toilet paper. Such a weird time. It was weird, man. I couldn't hug my grandparents, and that emotionally messed me up because I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
And then I was also working. So when we got the all clear to go back to work, it was a ghost town in downtown Chicago, and that was scary.
Yeah.
You
That
know
was
what?
horrifying, seeing just nobody outside.
Yeah, no. I mean, when the pandemic started, I was like dealing with a knee surgery, so I was primarily in the house anyway because I was on crutches. But then I got into a master's program in New York, so I moved from Vegas to New York, and my school was in Times Square, like in Times Square. So I'm crutching around Times Square, like, dang, this weird. Ain't nobody on these streets, which was great for me because I ain't got to worry about being knocked over on my crutches. But it was weird,
It was weird.
Yeah.
It
and
was
Yeah.
that
such
was like
a weird
2022.
time.
That was post pandemic, like 2022 is when, or 2021. When did I go to school? I don't know. Time is a construct. But anyway, it was well after like we had our first and second shots and all the like the rounds of everything, and it was still a ghost town. I was just like,
Yeah.
this
Graduation was weird. I graduated college in 2022.
it was
It was a
weird.
ball. Columbia knows how to party. They were having bands. It was lit in there. My grandma's like, I'm gonna come to all the Columbia graduations. It was a time. My brother was entertained. My auntie was entertained. It was
Man,
a fun
I know
time.
many folks that like graduated during 2020, 2021 though. Like
Ugh.
They
they didn't
didn't
even
get
really
it,
have graduations.
or it was drive through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made it. I graduated high school in 2019, so I made it just barely.
Oh,
Yeah, you just got
Just
there.
barely. But it
yeah.
did mess up my college experience for sure. Like
Yeah,
you had to leave the dorms. I had to go all the way back home. It was really bad.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Like
And then we
it's
had these teachers who were like, "I'm not learning Canva. Fuck y'all. I'm not
right.
learning it."
You
So why
don't
do you
deal
have a
with
job?
it
I just want to ask, why do you have a
because
job?
they have
The
tenure.
professor who
Because
had to,
they
she
have
sent an email
tenure.
saying, I have to go back to campus to get my computer because I don't have a computer in my house nor Wi-Fi. I'm like, why do you have a job? Why are you employed as a teacher? Insanity.
I mean, I kind of respect it a little bit. It's
I
like I
don't.
don't want to
You
be
messing with my
no,
grades. You're messing with my
no,
ability
because
to graduate.
if you think about it, right? But if you think about it, that is the ultimate unplug. You're like, I am off work. You cannot
Not
find me. I am
communicate
not
me.
dealing with you people.
They have a house phone. She ain't even got a cell phone. She uses a cell phone for work, and that's it.
Okay, nah.
I'm like,
That's a
wrap
lot.
this
That's
up, lady. I just want to
We
graduate. I'm sick. Sick, sick, sick.
that is a little far. It's fine. But I
But I
mean,
got that
yeah, no,
diploma,
I
though.
definitely
I got that diploma downstairs. Well,
because you know what we do real well,
hmm
collect education.
we collect them degrees like Pokemon, amen?
But definitely I do agree that like the anthology does help process all the things.
hmm
The loneliness, if you have any type of mental health concerns that you're processing and dealing with, like being able to be in community like this because you're still writing separately, but you can come and be like, so anybody else struggling with this? Because this
Yeah,
shit hard.
yeah.
And it's nice to have that, especially like if you don't have community outside of an anthology. Like it is so important to have community in the bookish space because of how indie in particular, especially if you are a BIPOC, especially if you are Black, especially if you're a woman, get treated.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to have that support group of authors that you can go to and just the group chat. You be like, you see this shit. So
My first book wouldn't have happened without community.
Yeah.
I would have never had my list of own voice romance authors without Gigi. I wouldn't have a cover because Tanya Anderson, who did my book covers, she was just getting started in her cover making journey publicly. She had a sale. I got a cover for a much cheaper price than obviously what she does now because she has built that platform for herself so she can
right,
charge her
I
prices
love that. I
charge
love
them
that.
prices. I wouldn't have had an editor without Alina putting me in connection and helping me with self editing because I couldn't afford traditional editing at the time. The book characters wouldn't exist without Lucy Lillian creating this world because Wendell and Ernest, they were not my kids, they were her kids, and she told me about these two, and I just love it. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if they just got together and just be scandalous? And it just happened. Like I would not have a career without my Black indie author community. I say this religiously every time. You have to have community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is why it makes no sense to say that indie author is a competition. No, we're
that's
all
what I'm
struggling.
saying.
Help each other out.
We
I know,
Ridiculous.
all in this
We're
together.
grown.
because
There's
I was
room for everybody.
I knew how to like publish, like self-publish in general, was because of like Black Book Talk. Like that was the reason. Because I did not know how to do it before, like until I started seeing videos and there was a lot of people just talking about this is how you do it, this is how you upload on KDP and all this other stuff. So yeah, I kind of
And
I
needed
got
it.
and
I
like
got lucky and
formatting
found
the books, and then like all the other author stuff, like your taxes, um, your newsletter,
listen.
our website.
Listen, how to
We don't
even
have these
do
conversations. We
Canva.
talk about the heavy lifting, which is just writing the damn book, but we don't talk
Mhm.
about all the other stuff. Like, if you want to do a PR box, what does that look like? What is your look at examples? Ask like, hey, who did you do for this? And when it came to my PR box that I did for One Night of Fun, I did a lot of black. I did a black tea company to do the tea for Amanda and Victor. I did a small black candle company for the little candle that came in there. I put other Black indie authors who I love and support in the box too, and gave them promotion for how they've supported and helped me. Like
Yeah,
it's a community effort, and it doesn't make sense when we do these dumb stuff on the internet. We see you. You're going on the do not interact list, you weirdos.
No,
I
but that's
see
the
you
thing.
clear
Like
as day.
there's so much to being an indie author that people don't even think about,
They
and
don't.
everybody like people that don't understand and don't want to understand. It's not a competition. Like you might not necessarily. So it, mhm.
Like, here's the thing, right? It's a competition to get readers. If you want to do that, I guess. For me,
You
that's
don't
not
even
an
need to
issue.
really do that because you like there's so many content creators and just readers and people that love so many different types of books that your book that has nothing to do with this other author's book is still being ate up by the same people. Like there's
Cool.
no reason to compete in the way like there's no why is there a
There's no
competition? The
reason. Just
competition should
be
be
nice
with
to
yourself
people.
to be better than who you was yesterday.
Be nice
You
to
should only be
people.
competing with yourself.
yeah,
Like, there's no reason to compete with anybody, even if you don't like what someone is writing, like, because it's not your cup of tea. It doesn't mean that you have to be disrespectful to that person. Because
It
you can be
don't.
like, I don't really like their books, but here's this author that you might enjoy. How hard is that?
It's not that hard. And then authors stay out of reading spaces. Who cares if they gave you 2 stars? Not that check. Who cares? Grow
yeah.
up. Move
Yeah,
on.
don't
It's
use.
just
Don't
because
do it.
listen, it's back to the cup of tea thing. Just because it ain't your cup of tea or they cup of
Two
tea,
is somebody
don't
else's
mean
5. Somebody's 2 is somebody else's 5. And don't scare that 5 away because you don't know how to conduct yourself. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for the lie again.
Not absent from the class. Hell no. Because what? It's so weird. Thank God everyone in this anthology has common sense and knows how not to act
Oh,
a clown.
listen, because I'd be like, do I got to side eye folks today?
Do I? Let me go to the group chat. Let me go to the council. Why do
Right.
you put everything in the group chat? It's not my fault I'm converging with the council. Sus behavior. Stop being suspicious.
I am now referring to all the group chats as the council. I am here for it.
Yeah.
Yes. The council of, the council of, the council of. Changing all to everybody name.
We need a meeting to see if I'm crazy. Am I tripping? Or
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But okay, so like we got to what's exciting and like what we hope the anthology brings, and we touched on the challenges. But do y'all want to dive a little bit more into what was most challenging writing your story for this particular purpose, like for the anthology? Was there anything that really challenged you beyond the fact that maybe it was short? That's a little hard.
yeah, not really for me. I didn't face any really like challenges besides
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't have enough words.
Yeah, it's the same for me just because I use characters in a story I haven't written yet, so I pretty much could do what I want. So,
It makes it easier when either it's established characters, so you already know everything about them, or it's characters that are completely new to you, but that makes it fun because you can kind
Right.
of just go wherever you want with it.
yeah.
Nobody knows who these people are but you. So even if you created character sheets for them, you have this whole personality. If you start writing and you're like, this don't fit no more, so I'm gonna just change it. Nobody knows because it's new.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does make it a little bit
Especially when
fun.
the pairing you're having is like a fun pairing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Reese and Thomas are just so fun, and they're so fun and adorable. I love these two lovebirds. They're so sweet. They're just sweethearts.
But that's the thing though, like we love our character, we love them or we hate them, but either way they are babies. And it's just
Yeah.
like you can have so much fun, you can give so much life to these characters that readers or other authors who are also readers be like, listen, I would literally sit down and have coffee with this person. I want to go out for drinks. Let's watch a movie together with XYZ. Like I love when we create these three-dimensional characters in a way that people connect with them on a spiritual level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's a whole different vibe. Um,
Hmm.
you already mentioned that you wrote a collection and you have another collection that you putting together at some point, Jay. But do
Yes.
you see yourself continuing to write flash fiction or short stories like this in the future?
There is, when it comes to the Black remakes of the Rise of the Guardians universe, each one of the individual small short story books are just a fun vacation with Santa, Cupid, Tooth Fairy, the Sandman, and then we have a pitch adjacent. And they're all like short stories of like Mr. and Mrs. Claus. They have a fun ho 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 of a time in their cabin after Christmas. The Easter Bunny gets to go to a valley playground of sorts with three tree giants. The Tooth Fairy has a great time with her wife. Cupid gets to go on an Italian vacation with his husband and his wife, and they just gallivant around the city. And Pitch, man, they y'all gonna hate me with Pitch. There's no joy, no happiness, no joy. Mistaken villain. He's not the bad guy. Just bad things happen to him, and he's
Oh,
allowed to be upset. I would too. Crash out, King. Mount crash out. And they're all like short stories of just these how the Avengers are assembling, and each
Yeah.
of the stories ends with an assembly of an Avenger, and then
here
we
for
go
it.
into the big book, which I don't have a title for at this moment in time, and all of them come together and they defeat the real ops. So that's a fun project that I have coming out in 2026. So yeah, I definitely see myself doing more shorter stories like this. Ernest and Wendell, they have a great the second volume collection. It's going to be the pair of them sneaking around at this wedding for another set of characters that Lucy Lillian wrote. And they're at a resort. They've gotten married. And Ernest and Wendell just sneak around. They sneak around. They have a fun time. They have a fun time. Yeah, so it's great. So I'm excited for what flash fiction short stories come within the next 2 years.
I would love it. I'm here for it. And you sitting here giving these descriptions, and I'm like, mentally taking notes. So like, what am I looking for? I'm looking for okay,
Listen, they
okay,
had a
okay.
ball for Christmas. Ernest and Wendell had a ball at Christmas.
Don't do this
That's
to
one of my
me. Don't do
favorite
this
books
to
I've
me.
written about these two, to be honest. That and A Cozy Night In. That was a fun, cute, vanilla-y. Not really,
Listen,
no spice. There's tension, but no spice.
but
And
that's
it's
fine
great.
though. Because sometimes, like, just having those little cute, sweet, tension-filled moments that don't necessarily have, you know, the bang, bang, bang,
And the
happy ending
bang.
of that sort. It's fine. Like we live for those sometimes, just to
Yeah,
like kicking your feet and giggling, like that's so
yeah,
cute
they
moment. We love
are.
that.
They
Give it
step in
that.
the kitchen. They're stepping in the kitchen together, having a ball, just being extra black. They go smack
That is so black.
extra black.
So black. You know, I'm here for it.
Just
I'm here
being
for it.
black, being black, gay, and in love. What more could you ask for?
That part. Joy, black gay joy. Listen,
Yeah.
we need more of that.
And
Aiyana,
Yeah.
do you see
So
yourself doing this more?
I did
Writing like this anyway.
have a little idea of doing something like that in a way with like my characters in my current series because
Mhm.
I like the first couple so much that I kind of want to do like a little mini short story book of like them after their book. So I might do that, but I'm probably gonna wait till I series first.
Like Jay said, do it. Who's
Yeah,
stopping you?
author, who's going to
Who
tell
don't stop
you
you?
no?
that's true.
Like, I think what's so fun is that like sometimes we either want to be completely done with our characters, like I am tired of you, I done seen your face too much, or you don't want their story to end, and so you got to find like little ways to continue it. And the holidays are a good time, be it like Valentine's Day, Christmas, or Kwanzaa, or
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, Pride, like Veterans Day. I don't know. People do stuff, right? Like Thanksgiving, like anniversaries. Like I met you 12 years ago. Like
Yeah,
what? We weren't together, but we knew each other then.
Yeah.
Whatever, just little moments where you can kind of get back into that character. Like I was thinking about doing that for some of my characters as well, and I've been sitting on it for a while, but I have a sports romance series, and it's five brothers, and it's two more books that I'm working on. But I've been sitting here like, but Valentine's Day, so you can get back into these two, or Juneteenth, so we can get back into these two, or like because they already go on an annual trip together, and at this point, the women that they are with come with them anyway because one brother had to fuck up tradition and bring the fiance, and now everybody's like, well, we can't leave who we are now dating at home.
Exactly. It only
Um,
takes one.
it only takes one. You like, and he was the baby brother too. Like, God damn
And you
it!
know he got away with it.
Of course he did because he the baby, and
hmm
he had just got back with his girl. Anyway, so it's real fun to be able to get back into those little things and have those little moments with either new characters that you want to explore later or characters that you have already finished and you kind of want to explore more. So do it.
yeah, yeah. I'll do it.
You're right.
Um, we already very much touched on a favorite part of signing up for the anthology, but like, let's blast that out again.
Love you, Sula. Love you, CT.
it's
Me.
it's it's definitely like Sula has brought together a group of authors who didn't necessarily know each other or who like kind of knew of each other and now get to be in a space and community together. And I think it's really cool because you have very new unpublished authors, one published book, a couple of published books, or a shit ton of books. And it's just so many different, you can see so much and learn so much from everybody. And I think that is my favorite part
Yeah.
Yeah.
because like it's hard to find a group of authors that ain't on some fuck shit. Look, I have my group, and I'm so happy. Tasha L. Harrison, I found in 2020, in March of 2020, right when I
And she
had
said
just
yes.
started. Yes. I love Tasha. Tasha is like my big sister at this point. I love that woman down. I found her at the beginning of my writing, and I regret nothing because having been in word makers, it doesn't exist in the traditional sense anymore. But I met so many traditionally published authors, hybrid authors, and indie authors. I learned so much. Like Mia Heinzelman, love her down. She was in there. Mia is always mad at me. She got mad because I moved out of Vegas. She's like, "How very dare you leave me?" Like that type of love and community in that group, because Natasha had brought together a community of authors where you could learn so many different types of things, from marketing to just what different hats you need to wear, besides how to find an editor, how to break up with an editor, how to pitch to an agent, how to write and get ready to pitch to an editor at a publishing house or whatever. Like it was so great, and having had that, like, it's so important, and like finding other little pockets of community like that within this anthology, for example, is so essential, because it's hard out in these streets.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. But before we wrap up, I want to hear, you can give the idea of your favorite line or the direct quote from your story, but I want to hear your favorite line without giving away too much. Aiyana, let's start with you.
Uh, so I do have a specific quote, but I kind of just liked it. I don't know why, but it just sounded kind of poetic in my opinion. But it was the melody that comes from our combined efforts plays gently through the empty room. Like, I don't know, I thought that was really cute.
It's cute.
They like each
Listen, it
other.
make you think though. You're like, ooh,
Ooh,
Yeah.
come on, deep thinking.
I'm here for it. That is very cute. That is very cute. I like it. I like
Good line.
Yeah.
It's a good line for sure.
it. And Jay.
I do have a specific quote as well. The quote is, Tommy, be a passenger today, okay? I love that
Oh,
line because Thomas is a lieutenant. As a lieutenant, he has to be on at all times. He has head on swivel 24/7. He knows that his man can handle himself. What that got to do with me doing my job? What that?
Hmm.
So he always has his head on a swivel. But just today, just be a passenger. Just be a
bring it
passenger
on.
person. Just sit down. I love
Calm
Yeah.
that.
it down.
What Thomas deserves. It's what they
Yeah.
both do. Because Thomas, he does that for Reese a lot of the time. And as I'm writing The Dawn and His Lieutenant, we're getting a lot of that balance of just as much as Thomas gives, Reese will also give, and vice versa. So this is one of those moments. And we don't get a lot of this in the book because there's just so much chaos going on in the first book of the series, of the duology, where Reese is just able to just let Tommy be a passenger. I got
Hmm.
this. Just sit there, look handsome, and just smile. That's all I need you to do.
Just,
And I was
just
like, all right,
exist.
sit down. I'm gonna listen to what my man told me to do. I'm just sit down. I love that.
Hmm.
It's what they
I
deserve.
do
And
too.
that's what I want to see more, especially in the mafia universe. Like we don't really see that. And
No, yeah.
I
We
Yeah.
don't get a
to
whole lot
write
of
what I
black
wanted to see
mafia
in the
anyway.
world.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
we don't get a whole lot of black mafia anyway. So we definitely don't get to see the soft moments in the way that it is deserved, especially in a genre that kind of is like has so small of a space for people of color, and then that is also like inherently supposed to be darker. Like you don't often get to see those. It's always like subject to something so wild and bizarre happening in the background that you can't really appreciate and enjoy those small moments, that when you do get them in a book or a series, you're just like, this is what I've been craving.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I love that, because absolutely, please sat your ass down and just be
Yes,
pretty and
sir.
exist.
So
Love you.
I'm glad that I was able to like have that moment be for Reese and Thomas because Reese and Thomas, they love each other devotingly. They are like devoted. Like that's it. I need nothing else in my life. And with all the actions that happen in book one, yeah, we just need this. It's needed because we ain't gonna get it for a hot minute.
And that's fine as long as there's like it's the duality of the situation because like obviously there's going to be the wild crazy stuff that's happening.
Yeah,
But because that doesn't mean you can't have your moments of love. And so
yeah,
like while you got to deal with all this, I'm finna take the day. I don't care what's going on. We
right.
finna just be and
Yeah.
like that kind of anyway.
And
I
then
love
that's
it.
and as readers read Our Paradise, that's kind of the point of why Reese did all of this because he wanted to create a paradise for just the pair of them to just exist and to just be husbands. I don't want we ain't got to deal with that. This is the house. This is the crib. We cool. Just relax. Go drink something. Let's draw back. Like let's go watch some movies. Let's get ice cream. Let's go throw some on the grill. Like that's what I wanted for these two to have these moments. So I loved that I was able to like put this in the anthology. And that's why it's my favorite line.
Yeah. Because duh.
Just be a passenger be a
Um,
passenger prince. They ain't no,
just
they ain't
do
no
it.
wrong with that.
Just do it. I've
Mm-mm.
had so much fun with y'all.
I've
I
had a
have
blast with
had
the both of y'all.
Yeah, it's fun.
a blast. Um, but all things must come to an end.
Aww.
um, this, listen, this has been Ray's Corner. I want to thank both of y'all for coming on. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Ayana.
Thank you for having me and thank
Oh
you for having
gosh, I got
us.
I put that real quick. You gave us laughs, you gave us real, you gave us conversation that was just needed in this space and time. As I had stated earlier, writing can be a lonely process, but when you have authors that come together on stuff like this, it's rewarding in a different type of way. You get to meet new people, learn different ideas of how folks approach their craft, and you get inspired. So again, I want to thank both of y'all for coming on, and make sure y'all pre-order One Page One Love.
Do it.
Sue Sullivan and CT Fletcher put together some good shit. It comes out in a couple days, so
May
I promise
6th.
you won't be disappointed. May 6th, streets. Have your
May
copy.
6th.
And as a reminder, nobody puts Rae in the corner unless she's gushing over books. May 6th. We out.
Bye.